In today's video, I will be taking a look at my updated 2022 House prediction as of today, September 27th of 2022. I'm going to start off with the state of Alabama, which we don't really have much to talk about there. Alaska, really not much either there. For the state of Arizona here, we have a couple of competitive seats. However, I do believe that this map is quite accurate. This is just a map I used for last time. I feel like I would generally still agree with my previous prediction. Going to the state of Arkansas, obviously all safe states. All safe states, California here. The first district, Josh Harder. I think that this district would probably go to him by a lean margin. This is up from the tilt margin I gave him in the last prediction. But for the Amy Barrett seat, I think this will be a likely seat. It will be about 15 points for her. David Valadao should be able to win re-election. It's really 50-50 in many of the polls, in many of the forecasts, but in the end, I think David Valadao will be able to pull it off. Mike Garcia also, in my opinion, should be able to pull it off in California's 27th Congressional District. Now I'm going to go to San Francisco. Michelle Steele, she's about a tier below these really good candidates like Mike Garcia and David Valadao in terms of electability, and they're very much Democratic-leaning seats, but she should be able to win. She's only a D+5 seat according to FiveThirtyEight, as opposed to a D+10 seat Mike Garcia and David Valadao are in. Katie Porter, I think, will be able to win in Mike Levin as well. I think narrow margins for both of them, but they should be able to win. Colorado, I think that at Plummeter, I think he's not running for re-election. This seat is 15 points better than was previously, but Republicans are not going to flip that seat probably. Colorado's 8th. This is a open seat. Biden barely won. He didn't barely won it, but he didn't win by a sizable enough margin for me to think that Democrats will be able to win that seat. For Connecticut here, Jahana Hayes has a lot of scandals. She could very well lose, but I just don't see it right now for a 2nd district. Joe Courtney, I think that he'll also be in a tough race, but he'll probably pull it off with about an 80% chance of pulling it off. Jahana Hayes, I really am not sure. Going to the state of Delaware, nothing there. Florida, I think Florida, Ron DeSantis drew a very effective / gerrymandered map in the state of Florida, and it's obviously going to help Republicans hold basically all their seats, plus flip a couple of seats such as Stephanie Murphy's seat and Charlie Critt's seat as well, and consolidate some of their own seats. Going to the state of Georgia, really nothing to talk about there. Hawaii, Idaho, and Illinois. For Illinois, I think that 13th district is really close, but I still think Democrats are going to win it. Lauren Underwood's seat has been much more Democratic. This is due to the gerrymandered map in Illinois, and I think that the 11th seat should also be lean. Now, I do not believe that the 17th district is going to go to the Democratic Party. FiveThirtyEight actually has that seat at D+15 for some reason. Don't believe that, alright? So for the state of Indiana, I generally can't agree with this map. Iowa, pretty good as well. For the state of Kansas, Sharice Davids, I don't think she'll win. She's in a much more rural district than her previous one. And for Kentucky, I thought they were going to draw the Democratic incumbent. He is retiring, however, the state will definitely go blue. Louisiana, nothing there. For the state of Maine, Jared Golden is a pretty good candidate, but it's not the year for him, and really Trump did win the seat by 8 points. That's not going to help, alright? For Maryland, David Throne, I think he'll narrowly hold his seat. This is going to be very close, but he'll probably narrowly hold that seat. Massachusetts as well. For the state of Michigan here, I think that for really a lot of these seats here for this 7th district, Elisa Slotkin not going to really win. I think this race, it's pretty much a toss-up. Biden barely won this seat, and that should give you enough information about basically it's going to go Republican. The 3rd district, Biden did win by, I think, 6 points. I think that's going to be enough for the Democratic Party to win that seat. And Peter Major is a relatively good candidate. He was defeated in his Republican primary by just about 3 points. And that's why I think that the Democrats are probably going to flip the seat. This is probably one of their only flips this year, aside from the gerrymandered maps. And the 8th district, Daniel Kinley is likely going to win by about 1 percentage point in his seat over here. For Minnesota, I do generally agree. I think Dean Phillips' seat, however, will be likely. For Mississippi here, obviously this will be the map. Missouri, again, obviously this will be the map. Montana, the first seat, is not going to be competitive in 2022. The state of Nevada, the 3 seats, really, I think Republicans are going to win the 3rd seat. I think Democrats are going to win the 4th seat. Titus, I think, will lose re-election this time, giving Republicans 3 out of the 4 seats in Nevada. This was a dummy mannered map. This wasn't necessarily a gerrymandered map, simply because that Republicans have a very good shot to win all 4 seats in a Republican wave. Going to the state of New Hampshire here, and Cluster, I think will definitely win, and Chris Pappas, I think, will lose as well. And Cluster is in seat Biden 1 by 11, and I think that's going to be enough. Chris Pappas is only in seat Biden 1 by 4, so he's probably going to lose. For New Jersey, Tom Manowski, I think that he really has no chance. He's in seat Biden 1 by 1.8%. He underran Biden in 2020. That should tell you enough about the seat. So for the state of New Mexico, I generally agree. I'm going to put the 3rd district, however, as a lean blue state rather than a likely blue seat. And yeah, so for the state of New York, just looking at this map, I think that John Katko, a Democrat, Pat Ryan, was able to win that special election by a point or so, by about 2%, just under 2%. I don't think it's going to be enough for him. I think he'll lose. Abortion was a big issue in this seat. I don't think it will be that large in 2022 in the midterms. Currently, it's still a relatively large issue, but still relatively losing some significance. Oh, I'm sorry, I was talking about the wrong seat here. Pat Ryan was in this seat. He was able to overperform Biden by about 0.3%. For the 22nd district, John Katko, I think his seat, although he's retiring, he's still going to narrowly lose. Over the 18th, I'm going to play as still Republican. Sean Patrick Nowinski, however, I think he'll definitely be able to win. Tom Suzy is retiring to run for governor. This race could be very close, but I think he'll end up winning in the end. I think that Kathleen Rice not running for re-election is going to hurt the Democrats, but I think her successor will be able to win that seat. For the state of North Carolina, J.K. Parfield not running for re-election. This will be a very interesting seat that I think the Democrats will end up winning very nearly. The 13th seat, an open seat. Obviously, I think the Republicans are favored. For 6th seat, I also think that Democrats are obviously favored, but it's going to be a lean seat, not a likely one. North Dakota, nothing there. Ohio, I think that Steve Schabot very much potentially could lose that seat, but I think very well that I think that he's going to lose that seat by about 0.2%, but it really can go either way. The 2 other competitive seats, Marcy Caper and Anthony Gonzalez's seat, will both go Republican by about 3 or 4%. Oklahoma, nothing there. Oregon, Kurt Schrader defeated in the Democratic primary in 2022. I think this might be a Republican flip, but I really just don't know. The 6th district is open, and the 4th district not running for re-election in 2022. He was a 18-term incumbent, served in the Congress for 36 years. He will retire, alright? So for the state of Pennsylvania, Brian Fitzpatrick is obviously going to win. He's very popular. Connor Lamsey, he is running for U.S. Senate. He lost that Democratic primary. He's not running for House, so that seat is likely going to flip Republican. Susan Wild, I also think that seat will flip Republican by about a point. Matt Cartwright, this is simply not a good seat for him to run in. For Rhode Island, again, the 11th term Democratic incumbent, scandalous plagued, will not run for re-election. This will be a very close race. Definitely one to keep a look at, especially because the state closes its polls quite early. South Carolina as well, nothing really here as well. South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, we do have a couple of competitive seats in Texas, really just the 3 Hispanic seats, the 28th, the 15th, and the 34th. The 34th actually has a Republican incumbent, but that's just because of the special election. This is like a D plus 16 seat on 538. It's probably going to go Democrat. And I think that the open seat, the 15th seat, it's going to go Republican. Henry Cuellar, again, raided by the FBI, nearly lost to Jessica Cisneros. I don't think he's going to win, to be honest. Going to Utah, Vermont, Washington State. I did skip Virginia. So for Virginia, Abigail Spanberger, I do think that she'll be able to win. Elaine Luria, not the year for her. I don't think she's going to win. Washington State, Kim Schrader. It's going to be a close district, and so see that Biden did win by 7, but it didn't become more Democratic, and 538 has it as a toss-up, so that's that. West Virginia, Wisconsin, we really don't have much to talk about there. Ron Kine is not running for re-election. That's not going to help the Democratic Party. So this is the end of today's prediction. 238 for the Republican Party. They obviously take the House. Democrats have 197. Thank you for watching today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.